What's up guys, Chad Kent Color here with Angelus brand. I'm super excited to be introducing this product to you guys. We're referring to them as Angelus Paint Markers. It's basically a refillable, custom color mixable marker, and it's getting ready to help revolutionize the way that you can customize. Essentially what this is, it's not a replacement for your paintbrushes, but it is something to add to them. Having the different tips on there and having the ability for the paint to always be flowing out of it and not have to re-dip your paintbrush every little bit, it's going to help make your lines actually even smoother if you're doing, you know, the detail work like I like to do. This is going to be a time saver, and it's also going to take the fear factor out of jumping into the customizing game. Whether you're trying to, you know, become the next great and make a living at it, or you just want to, you know, decorate your own shoes sitting in class one day, like bust this out and, you know, you can make that happen now. All right, so the first step to all these is how do you sit them up? I'm getting ready to show you right now. These are the paint drippers. This is your extra pack of the tips. This is it. Basically, you unscrew it. Little lid here, use your fingernails, pop that out. That's actually what we're going to call the plunger. There's a little spring inside of there that activates the paint to come out. And then on these guys, on the little ones, there's a little metal cylinder. Don't lose that. That's actually what helps to mix the paint up. So when you do your shaking motion, everything, it keeps the paint kind of fresh and ready to go. The next step, the first step actually, is to get the paint into the marker to get it ready to use. If you take your paint and put it directly into here, it's not going to work. It's too thick in normal paint form, and it'll gum it up and you'll be bummed out and not want to use these ever again. To counteract that, you want to use the too thin. You take your the little weight that comes with it and just drop it in there. Reinsert the plunger. Okay, now you have a choice if you want to use the round tip or the little chisel tip. I always prefer the round one because it's more consistent. So then I'll reinsert the chisel tip forward, and then if you put the lid on, shake it up a little bit. That way it gets nice and mixed up. You're mixing up too thin and the paint together. And then the next step is press little by little, not too hard because you don't want to damage the tip. As you're pushing and depressing on it, the paint's actually working itself down through the plunger, through the spring mechanism, into the tip. As you can see here, it's infiltrating the paint tip, which is exactly what we want. And then normally about that point, I know the paint's almost there. I go ahead and put the lid on it, shake it up a little bit more, standing it on its end. I mean, I let it sit for a couple minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and do a couple more anyways. I'll get some other colors set up, and then by that time the paint has naturally flown to it, and I will be ready to start, you know, scribbling on stuff. On the medium ones, it's the same thing. It's got its chisel tip side and it's got its round side. Once again, I'll use the round one for demonstrating today. When you open these things up though, plunger pops out. There's actually 3 little plastic marbles that go in there. Don't lose those. They tend to run on one and run away. And then it's exactly the same process. Just fill it up, shake it up, depress, start. Demonstrate, I'm going to compare my brushes with the markers so you can kind of see the difference. So first I'm going to take my little micro brush, dip it in the flat black, get ready to try and pull a little bit of straight line and show you, you know, how far it goes before you would have to dip in and reconnect to your line. So now for the marker form, you simply a couple depressions to get the paint flowing through it, and then you would just treat it the same way, but instead you just have a marker to work with. So at this point where my paintbrush is starting to thin out, this keeps going and going and going and going, going and going and going and going, and pretty much you keep that same speed, it'll go, you know, forever. Got some Adidas Boost, super popular shoe right now. Everyone wants to change them up a little bit. Basically, good things for using the paint markers on this shoe. We can do the little details inside here on the heel. The whole point of these is for detailing, for kind of styling out stuff, and for you know, like I said, if you're scared of paintbrushes but you still want to customize something, this kind of takes that fear factor away and allows you to, you know, to kind of dive into this whole customizing world. Another thing, a little tip, when you're filling in a stripe like this, while it's still wet and you can tell it's got kind of a shine to it, I'm kind of going back and dragging back and forth through the wet as I'm going over. That way I don't get streak marks, it stays kind of saturated and wet, and then when it dries, I'm done in one coat. I'm not having to do 2, 3, 4, 5, even 6 on some of the colors. It's just a more efficient way to do it, and that way you're not building your paint up, it stays nice and thin, and it looks really good when it's all finished. Got some Jordan Retro 1s right here. We'll just do some abstract elephant style print on here to show you how easy it is using the marker. Other things on leather shoes that these would be really good for. Say you're running out, you go to the club for the night, you get a little scuffed up. You don't have to actually bust out all your paints and everything. You could mix up one of these and have it ready, touch it up. You could even have it with you if you want, and be good in a matter of a few minutes, and your shoe looks fresh all the time. That's pretty much a very brief introduction to these things. Don't want to get too in depth with it yet anyways. I want you guys to go and get these. I want you to kind of experience them for yourself firsthand and see how really easy they are to use. Get these. In the coming weeks, we're going to be coming back. I'm going to show you what the really advanced potential with these things are. So using these, I'm going to show you how to blend 2, 3, 4, 5 infinite colors if you want into it. Show you how to kind of do different shading techniques, detail work, mixing the colors, blending the colors on the leather, the canvas, the different materials, and how to achieve that. That's the whole point. We're all creating stuff together. We're having fun with it, seeing what our minds can come up with, and what gets created for tomorrow.